Happy Tuesday, Maverick traders. This is Rob Reinhold, and this is the Market Roundup. Let's jump into it. In this session, we're going to be going through the news of the day. We're going to be talking about what is going on in this market, and we're going to take a look at some potential trades.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional stock and option traders. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional trader for Maverick, click the Apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
Okay, so the market was basically fairly range-bound today. Now, we've been consolidating some of the recent gains right now. We're going to take a look at the S&P charts. You're going to see that we're pretty dang close to all-time highs. And in fact, the Dow Jones today hit a new all-time high, but all the rest of the markets are just consolidating around highs. One of the positive things that happened this week was that the White House says the shutdown might end this week. Who knows if that's going to happen? I haven't really heard of anything concrete, but it gave the market some positivity over the last couple of days. As I said, the Dow hit a new all-time record, but take a look at the S&P and the Qs. They were basically flat on the day. The Russell down a little bit. The markets were really quiet except for the metals markets. The metals markets had a big hit, down 5%. That is a huge move for gold. Usually a big move for gold is 2%. 5%, it's just a monster move, but look at that big, huge run up. It really got hit, and we're coming down here. We'll have to wait and see what happens to gold, where it finally bottoms out, and if it's a buy off that bottom. But as you can see, the market internals, right in the middle. 50-50 advanced decline line, 50-50 above, below the 50 MA. This is a pretty neutral market. Now, listen to what I just said. The markets are hovering at all-time highs, but the amount of stocks above the 50-day moving average is only 50%. That is not a real bullish number, telling you that the markets are, I was going to use the term lumpy, but I'll say uneven. The fact that there's certain stocks that are really holding this market up. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Here we have the S&P. We had that big move down, and you can see we came up, and yesterday was an up day. Now we're just giving a doji. Doji right at resistance. Really not telling us anything until we get tomorrow's candle. You know, a down candle might be a slight bearish move saying, okay, we hit that resistance. We're going to come down, and then we've got that 20-day moving average, probably the first bit of support along with this resistance. Okay, you can see that if we do get a down move, it shouldn't be fairly shallow. If we get an up move tomorrow, it's telling us, hey, we're probably off to the races to new highs. This is the S&P, and I said there's certain stocks holding this up. Here is the RSP. This is the equally weighted S&P, and take a look at what it did today. So the RSP actually outperformed the SPX. So over the last couple of days, all the Mag 7 stocks, or let's call them the Mag 11, which is 40% of the S&P, they actually got the market moving higher. Today, those took a break, and the rest of the underlying market powered a little bit higher. You can see we're further away from all-time highs on this RSP. We'll just have to wait and see what happens, but this was a pretty bullish day here on the rest of the broad market. We take a look at the heat map. We can see that Google took a break, Broadcom took a break. So some of the big names took a break, but you can see it's 50-50 as far as advanced decline goes. So there's not a whole lot to talk about today's candle because it was a doji. It was an equilibrium of buyers or sellers. We're back up above the 20-day moving average, so we were at a +1 at the beginning of the week. We've upgraded to a +2. Let's take a look at some trades. I really like the trades in the aerospace and defense sector and retail. So I've got one retail one for you here. Here's Macy's. Macy's having a nice high base. We had some news here of potential buyout, and then you can see we have based and based and based. Looks like we're punching out of the top of that. Now look, I'm not going to go chasing this one saying I think it's going to go up to 20. I really think you could do something really at the money. You could even do like a 17-18 bull call spread. You're probably going to pay about 75 cents to 80 cents. So there's only going to be 20 cents of upside, but it's all theta. It's all just, it's got to stay above 18. You want to be a little bit more aggressive, 18-19 bull call spread. I would go out about 3 weeks on this one to give yourself some time. It should keep drifting up, especially if this market goes to new highs. Next up on the long side is KTOS, Kratos Defense. Really nice bull pullback. So again, monster run, 66 up to 112, almost a double. This is a crazy move. So we've now gone from 112 down to about 82. So we've had about a 30% pullback. If we were to snap some Fibonacci lines, you can see that right in here, probably should have seen some support, and we got that support. Didn't get great candles off the bottom. There's still nice reversal candles, but not green. You can see a solid green candle today with the close at the high, telling me this is going back up. Look, I don't think we get to 112. I think it's going to take a little bit more time to consolidate a 100% gain, but I like this one off of a bounce, even up to like 95. I think you could look at a 90-95 bull call spread. You could even take a look at 85-90 bull call spread and make this all theta. Like I said, I don't think this is going to make any new highs anytime soon, but I do think this thing jumps up into the mid 90s to even possibly 100 off of this bear rally pattern. Sorry, off this bull pullback pattern. And then a short micro strategy, or now it's just called strategy, MSTR. This is basically a Bitcoin company. And this company has foregone their actual business and just taken all their money and bought Bitcoin. What they've been doing, though, is they've been diluting their stock price to buy more Bitcoin. So this thing has been underperforming Bitcoin quite a bit. If we were to overlay a Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin has basically been flat right between 110 and 125 for the last couple months. This thing has continued to drift lower. So this is a play that I'm saying, okay, if Bitcoin stays where it is, this thing probably stays weak. If Bitcoin goes up, this thing is going to go up and it will likely be a loss on a short. But if Bitcoin goes down, this thing definitely moves down with it. So I'm thinking Bitcoin flat, this thing probably stays where it is or weakens. Bitcoin down, this thing weakens. I like the call. I like the call where we are. It seems like cryptos are really consolidating here. I'm looking to, again, just be non-directional here. A 310-300 bear put spread. This one is going to be mostly theta. The stock's at 301. So as long as it stays here, we're profitable. If it goes below 300, we have max gain. You're probably going to pay about $650 for this, which means you have $350 of upside. So a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio, but you have a very high win-loss ratio on this. If you want to be more directional, I really want to go much past 290 on a target, but I do think this one looks to weaken because I do think cryptos are likely going sideways here and possibly lower if this market weakens. Let's talk about tomorrow. Okay. We ended the day very, very balanced. 50-50 everywhere, very balanced, right at resistance. After the market, we've got two reports out. We've got Netflix earnings, and Netflix is down pretty substantially after hours. And then even worse, we have Texas Instruments reduce earnings by 10 cents, and they're down even more. So we should start the day off a little soft tomorrow. I imagine the futures will soften a little bit. The Qs are only down 0.1% at this moment, but I think we're going to soften up overnight. I could see us closing down 0.2, 0.3, maybe 0.4%. We'll have to see if the buyers come in after that. I think that we are going to get just a tiny little pullback here, but I think it's going to be very shallow until Friday when we get the CPI report. We also have some pretty big earnings tomorrow. We have IBM, Tesla tomorrow after GE Vernova. So earnings reports are coming in, and if they keep missing earnings, obviously that's going to drag the market down. But I don't think we're going to get any major move until the Friday CPI report. Thanks for joining me for the Market Roundup. Goodbye.